Hello. Um, Here we go again. I want to say thank you quickly to everyone who watched the last one and gave me some feedback. I really appreciated that. Um, and yeah, like I said, I'm not doing this to be an influencer. I know, like if anything, the far opposite of that. I'm doing this because I don't have the skills that I need to go into this industry. Why not combine my presentation skills, there you go, point in case, with my knowledge and enjoyment of winter, and hopefully you guys will get something out of it as well. So I'm just going to break down the days coming up. Hopefully the next one I'll do of these will be Thursday. I'll hopefully be out on the hill the next 4 days. So if you do have any specific questions, probably text me and I'll try and get back in the evenings. Same with my Instagram. I'll probably put pictures up, each afternoon of what's happening on the hills. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going or what I'm doing, but tomorrow you could probably guess with the conditions where I'm going. I wouldn't be surprised if some people had a lovely day scratching around in Corringe Nectar today. So here's the webcams for the Gorms. It's pretty good going. The Codfront came through last night at about 10 p.m. and then the Krug started freezing about midnight, so I don't quite think that was enough. But if we go to the UKV, you can just watch as the cold air comes through the drips and drabs of snow just coming through the evening into the night. Just be aware, it is nothing substantial tonight. I've chatted to a few people who are getting super excited for tomorrow as if it's, Orion Direction or something like that. No, you really do have to manage your expectations. What routes would be going tomorrow, if anything? It's going to be the snowed up rock routes that are really reliable anyway. So if you can't get out tomorrow, well, who cares? Like, you've got 5 months to do them pretty much. Yeah, it's no big deal. Do bear in mind, because today was poorer conditions wise, everyone with both days off will probably be going up tomorrow. So do bear that in mind if you wanted to go for Hidden Chimney, Fingers Ridge, anything like that. There'll probably be queues on them. Maybe head to the west face of Anakin Moor. Stuff on the Ben. Granted, the wind direction isn't optimal for that, but I'd be quite interested to see the conditions on number 3 Buttress tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow's definitely the better day of the weekend. It's not amazing by any means, just it's going to be scratchy rocks with a bit of snow on it. Hopefully with rime, otherwise I'll be quite disappointed. But it's Sunday afternoon that stuff starts getting interesting. So here is the runs from 3 to 4 o'clock. There has been a weather warning introduced for Sunday for snow and ice for the northern regions. I reckon this will get extended a bit further south, and I reckon it may come slightly earlier as well. It all just depends on. So there's just a bit more moisture in the air. There's this band of quite moist air rotating around this low pressure, which comes in Sunday afternoon. You can see here Sunday 6 p.m. You can see it's just reaching the top. It won't take much for that to come further south. And do read the further details of this. This isn't copy and pasted. This is specifically for this exact weather warning. So do just make a note if you're coming up Monday, Tuesday. 300 meters. That's the A9. There's probably going to be a couple centimeters of snow on the A9 Monday morning. So if you're driving in the dark, that's just something to be aware of. For Sunday, I think that's everything I wanted to note on that. It's nothing exceptional conditions-wise, but it should be good enough. The real meat of 2Veg is midweek. So there's this low pressure spinning over the Atlantic. And when is it going to land? Probably Monday, Tuesday. They're a bit more definite that it's coming. Developing into the wee channel low that we mentioned last time. GFSA has it spinning into 2 separate lows, which would be quite interesting. But how low pressure systems tend to work is they have a warm side and a colder side, because they're obviously rotating counterclockwise. It's going to bring some warmer air up with it on the initial approach, and this warmer air can hold a lot more moisture than the colder side of it, so that will clash with the straight northerlies and dump quite a lot of snow. This is probably the most likely place where it's going to happen, over the lakes, getting quite a lot of the Yorkshire Dales, a bit into the southern Pennines, and to southern Scotland as well. So that's what this weather warning is mainly here, and it could potentially shrink a bit or grow a bit depending on how the low pressure develops. Where it goes exactly. If it comes further north, then we'll see snow up around the West Highlands up to Perth. If it goes further south, then obviously Glasgow's might scrape away from it a bit better. But there's no two ways about it that the Lake District is probably going to get the front of this. It's worth noticing the matrices for these weather warnings. They're slightly different for each one. So the one on Sunday, they're pretty confident that this is coming. It is already set up now. It is on its way, but the impact of it is relatively low. 300 meters. So if you're going up the A9, down the A9, go to the ski centre in the morning, that's the people it's going to impact, and they'll just send the critters out. They should be pretty grand for that. But the one for Monday for Central England, Lake District, Southern Scotland, is forecast to have a slightly larger impact, but less likelihood, and that's because it's such a larger area of extent. They don't quite know where the low pressure will go. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they upgrade it to an amber when they know more specifically where it's going to happen, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's around the Lake District. So that's coming through on Monday. We've got the first area of low pressure coming through Monday into Tuesday. There is a 20% chance, the Met Office was saying, that the low pressure, if it's deeper, will spin further north, and that will bring extensive snow to the east coast of Scotland, potentially too much. GFS models tend to deepen lows more than our models, and it doesn't have it doing that, so I think it's even less likely to hit today. That 80% was from yesterday's forecast, so I think it's pretty unlikely now that the low pressure is going to come and give us trouble up in the north. So I'll just quickly go over that again on ECMWF. This is the continental predictions, so it's slightly different, so it's just good to have a second opinion on this all. So into Monday, there it is, fairly similar, slightly further south than the GFS has it, a bit more extensive. Similarly, if we have a look at the Sunday snows, they're not reaching particularly inland. The Föhn effect's taking all that moisture out in the north. So that's Monday sorted. Tuesday is a similar story, just with the low pressure going away further south. So in the north, there's potentially slightly lower winds, slightly drier, as of this moisture is getting taken by the northerly mountain. And into Wednesday, there's something else developing over the northeast. This is really exciting. I checked the GFS this morning. It's now 3 o'clock, sorry. And this morning, this low pressure wasn't here. It was just a ridge of this larger one to the east. So if I just run this ensemble for Wednesday morning, you can see the majority of them are having this area immediately east of northern Scotland just being the boundary of the deeper low, and not many of them are actually spinning the second low pressure system outwards. Now these are all run to 25-kilometer resolutions, whereas the main GFS is run to 15-kilometer resolution, so this is slightly higher detail. And basically, if this occurs, it's going to bring quite a lot more moisture into the system, because it's got the flow of this low pressure, but it's also, if you imagine like a second band, it's going to bring it back in, and you can see that it's coming through a bit more in the north, in the east. So in this eventuality, that's going to bring a lot more snow to the east coast and the north coast than the west. Basically, what I'm trying to get the point across is it's a lot. Everything's saying differently. ECWMF here. If I go forward to the Wednesday, it's spinning this low pressure separately as well, which could be really good. And you can see the warmer air is interacting differently, as if it was just this low pressure all the way to the east. I hope that makes sense. Into the Thursday, again, super duper cold, really good. Here's the -5 isotherm. Wow, what's it doing down there? I don't know. That's going to be freezing to sea level. Like, there's no two ways about that. That's pretty damn exciting. So Thursday, Friday looks pretty similar. Just less moisture in the system, unless more starts spinning out, which there's nothing saying that so far, unless if this low to the east deepens, that's going to be really exciting, but not many of the ensembles are saying that at the moment. And just quickly into the weekend afterwards, I'll probably take a better review of this on Thursday when I'm back, but ice axis for Kemble, maybe. If these charts come through, there will be snow down to 200 meters in the Lake District, which that's going to be very exciting for people going to Kendal. But as all good things do, they must come to an end. And here is the positive North Atlantic Oscillation, just doing what it does. Warm air coming up. It's the end for the lakes, but how this interacts with Scotland is all up in the air. As this run stands, this is extremely snowy. I can't think of anything else to say, because we're just hanging on to that cold air from this highland, this Greenland high, and it's just, they're having an absolute battle. All of this moisture is trying to come as rain from the warmer air to the south. You can see really clearly here the divide of the low, the cold side, the warm side. So the warm is bringing up so much moisture from the Atlantic, which is then clashing immediately with the air coming straight down from the Greenland. So I'm going to bring it up on the from the North Pole here. This may be a little bit messy to see, but you can see this the high pressure thing over Greenland, and here's the warm area of the low just coming in from the south. This is Saturday 6 a.m. You can see the positive 5 degree isotherm here is battling, and this gradient between the positive 5 and the minus 10. So the chances that this falls as snow over the lakes is very unlikely. If it does, we're going to have very little snow in Scotland, but it all depends on where this low pressure sits. So the ECMWF, if you can just make it out here, it doesn't have the depression as deep. The GFS is guilty of deepening lows significantly, so this is what they've got for that weekend ahead. The low pressure, look how deep that is. Here's the front side of that, pushing all the way through, clashing with that cold air, and hopefully this band will now start falling as snow. The ECMWF doesn't quite have that drawback of being so optimistic with the pressure, with the strength of lows, and this has it slightly further to the south, which would mean that the front moves slightly slower and it's able to battle the colder air better, so less extensive snowfall and more in the way of precipitation. So for the weekend afterwards, it's going to go one way or another based off these two. I'm not going to delve into the other models, but they are all kind of all over the place. I'll just run a quick ensemble again. Inverclyde, precipitation. You can see here's the weekend. This is the next weekend. Something is coming through here. Whether this falls as rain or snow is going to be very exciting to see. So to summarize it all quickly, today I'm quite glad we didn't drive up. Tomorrow you're not missing too much if you're upset that you're not going anywhere. I think the stuff that's okay is going to be queuing, and the stuff that's good is not going to be around basically. And then during the midweek, it's a bit all over the place with what's happening. This low is definitely going to come through on Monday, Tuesday. Where that sits is all up in the air a little bit, so do keep an eye on that, and the weather warnings is very important as well. And then the second low on Wednesday is going to be extremely interesting to watch where that goes. If that comes just a slightly bit further west, it's going to create a lot of snow and really set us up, and basically we want to be as solid as possible for whatever this is coming through the weekend afterwards, because if that does come through as rain, it's going to really strip everything back, so having an extra bit of build-up would help. If it does come through as snow, then, well, enjoy going to the Douglas Boulder, or enjoy going to, I don't know, it's too far away to say for sure now, but it's just something to keep an eye on. But I'll come back on Thursday with an update on what that's doing. Like I say, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Ideally text me, and I'll hopefully be out the next few days. Thank you very much.